I've definitely heard a lot of people in the comment section mention that for mixed surface riding, they do use mountain bikes for the type of riding I do. But interestingly enough, a lot of the highest summits that I go to, I don't see mountain bikes there. All right, I'm on the Fezzari right now. I'm riding on 45 millimeter Schwalbe all-round tires, and you know, I'm from the 90s. I rode bikes in the 90s, and I like bikes from the 90s. And I remember mountain bikes from the 90s when they were all rigid. You know, it was just kind of like a mountain bike was a bike with chunkier tires, flat bars. So for a lot of the people from that era, when they make that statement that a flat bar gravel bike is just a mountain bike, in some ways I get what they're saying, right? Because it kind of is, but in a lot of ways it kind of isn't, because the geometry has changed since the 90s on mountain bikes, and mountain bikes have become spaceships compared to what the 90s mountain bikes were. So the mountain bikes of today look nothing like the mountain bikes of when I was a kid. They literally look like just the future. They just look incredible with all the technology they're able to incorporate on them, and the suspensions and the full suspensions and the different types of suspensions. And they used to basically be that, what a gravel bike is today. But you know, obviously there are modern differences. Like, and so the one thing I was saying was the geometry. Another thing is the disc brakes. Another thing is hydraulic braking with disc brakes. Another thing is through axle spacing. And so those things have been kind of combined with also bigger tires and bigger wheels, in terms of the wires might be similarly as wide, maybe even wider on gravel bikes than 90s mountain bikes. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into that further. And if you know, then you know, comment. But the wheels have become 29ers or 28ers or 700Cs. So they're bigger wheels, more efficient riding. You can ride with these chunky tires. We've now added tubeless technology since then. So yes, you could say, oh, it's just a 90s mountain bike. But would you get the same ride if you just rode on a 90s mountain bike versus what I'm riding on right now? Hell no. And there's a reason that one would cost like 150 bucks and this one costs over 2 G's, because they're just not the same. Well, this isn't flat bar, but even if I did make this a flat bar, funnily enough, this Fezzari is about as close to a mountain bike as I could get without it being called categorically a mountain bike. But its geometry is pretty slack. And I feel like it's a pretty upright riding experience, or at least not a super aggressive one. So when you're saying a flat bar gravel bike is like a mountain bike, if you're saying it's like it has roots in the 90s mountain bike, gravel bikes, then I would absolutely say yes. But if you're saying, oh, it's just in a derivative way that, like, they're just the same thing, you could ride one or the other and have a similar experience. And I like those 90s mountain bikes, but I ain't trying to ride like over 10 miles in them if I don't have to. For a challenge, for fun, to test the bike, yes, I've done it. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You could ride it depending on the size. I'm a large person for a bike rider. Most of the bikes I would get would be XL frames, which is what this is. And I could ride double XL frames. I've ridden 64 centimeters. I feel like I could ride a 66 centimeter, whatever that means. So, I can ride them large. So those little wheels on the little bodies and the smaller sizes of mountain bikes, I prefer the way, you know, mountain bikes don't fit the same way that road bikes and gravel bikes are gonna fit you too. So that's another thing. A gravel bike of today is like a modern day mountain bike. Yes, there is some similarities, and the closest mountain bike to a gravel bike is going to be a cross-country one. And with modern mountain bikes, they have wider spacing generally, a little bit wider than gravel bikes. The spacing in the front and back, a lot of them tend to have boost spacing, 115 by 15 millimeters by 110 in the front, 12 148 in the back. And boost spacing apparently makes it more rugged for off-roading. So they're different. And most importantly, the reasons you're gonna ride them are gonna be different. I've definitely heard a lot of people in the comment section mention that for mixed surface riding, they do use mountain bikes. For the type of riding I do. But interestingly enough, a lot of the highest summits that I go to, I don't see mountain bikes there. I see road bikes. So, and you know, I made a video about Discovery Park going up there, and that was a takeaway at the end, is that I don't see no XC bikes, I don't see no type of mountain bikes up there. So, as far as y'all mountain bikers that is talking about, oh, I can climb anything, da da da, I can ride around the city, I could do 60 miles, 60K on my mountain bike. Let me see it. I'll watch the video. I'll even listen to the story without the video. Or let me see you up there. So, it is smoky today.